You are watching the number one podcast in the whole entire youth wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And together we are
Row Break.
And family, it's Wednesday night, so it's time to talk about NXT. On paper, we had a really great show. We were supposed to have 2 championship matches. Turned out to be 3 championship matches. We got a lot of information revealed to us. Some of that we already said kind of in Smackdown and NXT UK. So nothing really, that we haven't mentioned came out of that. But, tons of information. But in the end, like Jean-Paul said, they give you so much information that like every single detail become less important as they keep giving it to you.
Oh, yeah. The show tonight, I was expecting it to 2 advertised championship matches. Thought, okay, well, this show can't be bad, can it? And they're like, oh, just you wait. Just you wait. This can be bad. And, that's what it was. I hate to say, Io Shirai and Toni Storm, I thought would have been a lot better. It wasn't a bad match, but I thought it could have been better. And then Cole versus Balor, it was kind of just same old, and too much stuff going on at the end. You really didn't even care about the match itself once it was over because everything that happened. And, and then we got, the women's tag titles, which we'll get into, and then that whole debacle and everything that went on with that. But, NXT, I've been saying every week, I feel like they just fallen off the track. I don't know what's going on with them.
Yeah, like also Xia Li, we go from great promos, 4 weeks of hard training, vicious, violent, poor girl almost dies, Boa, same thing, just to be dropped out to Casey Catanzaro and also Kaden Carr. How can you go from like this? The plan is to go to the top. But no, it's like they promise you that promotion, right? Oh, no, you're going to be, a manager. You're going to get this much hours. You're going to get this raise. No, just going to stay the same, and you're going to stay working for us. So thank you very much, family, for being with us. That's something that we do appreciate. Don't forget to check out the Monday Night Raw review. Jean-Paul and myself covering Alexa Bliss continues in Randy Orton's path. Annoying him, just showing up in the middle of the matches. And Jean-Paul mentions in the review, like he gets like the black goose. And, we just keep seeing hints that the Fiend is going to come back.
Yeah, this was another awful, WWE show this week. So, overall, the only legit thing is Lashley being champ. But even the rematch that he had against The Miz, I guess to solidify him in a one-on-one, singles match. But, that wasn't even that good. The rest of the show, Sheamus and Drew, go check that out. They beat the hell out of each other. But even that ending was a little bit, screwy. So just, this is 2 strikes now for WWE. Now we got to just wait on Smackdown. And it's I'm thinking it's going to be 3 strikes and out.
Yeah, let's get another company to we can start doing shows. Maybe ROH sounds like from different. Maybe we'll see. You never know with Row Break. So let's start, Paul. There you go. William Regal starts is going to be announcing 2 big things. And the first one, it was NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. That is going to be a 2-night thing. We mentioned this again on SmackDown. We said that there was a little rooms. There were some hearings right there, and it's going to be April 7th. It's going to be on USA Network. On Wednesday, that's going to be night 1. And night 2 is going to be actually on Peacock, because the movie is going to already take place before that. So it's going to be right there the second night for NXT TakeOver. They're starting ready to load the car. And, that also shows you, Paul, that they're not going to have a match, NXT Championship match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, which, I would have rather have it at WrestleMania. But, I guess a whole TakeOver event, it would make, if you're going to do a TakeOver event, it obviously makes more sense to do it on the TakeOver event. But I thought it would have been good for NXT's brand to maybe get advertised on WrestleMania. I'm sure there's some people who only watch main roster, don't even watch NXT. So, again, that would be more exposure for NXT. And also with Karrion and Finn Balor, the 2 best, the 2 most legit guys you have there, it would also make more sense. But a 2-night event, I think, is good, except for the fact where, do you really have 2 nights worth of matches to put on that are TakeOver worthy? As in, are you just going to put bullshit people on and WrestleMania? Oh, everybody gets on. Is this going to be the same thing? Oh, TakeOver, everybody gets on. And it's but do these people really deserve to be on TakeOver?
It's gonna be interesting to see what matches make the card. We see the pads are already starting to
now if they would tell me, oh yeah, we're gonna put some UK guys on there, because we did find out from Jordan Devlin the travel ban is lifted. So but he did say his. I don't know if it just meant his or from the UK or how that works, but maybe. because he was a naughty boy. Who knows what his travel ban was? But I mean, hopefully, you get some UK matches on there as well.
Absolutely.
But yes.
So we'll see what happened, Paul. Like they got all the women's division because remember the debacle, like the controversy that we had last week with the tag titles. We said that like, hey, they might have they might be added to a match at Fastlane. Something cool. But then also we heard like, oh, the tag titles are going to be introduced. So in WWE fashion, there you go. Regal like unveils the tag team. They look nice though, don't you think? I mean, I like the way that they look. Maybe not UK worthy, but at least they look nice. I like
it. And you just said it. I'm spoiled with how legit the titles look like in NXT UK, and even AEW's titles are really nice. And then these are kind of just like, oh yeah, we're gonna put a gold plate and then N, X, and T on it, and then that's it. It's like we're not gonna put anything legit. It's not gonna be like,
when it comes to like creativity, nope, no, not at all. And William Regal was, you said kind of like. Going a little bit extra when it comes to the women's division. The best women's division in wrestling right now is NXT's, which we can barely differ from that idea. I mean, William Regal works for there, so I know you have to be political about it. But he was just saying that, and also Paul gave me the reason because for all the women out there, on Monday was the International Women's Day, so there you go. So we hope that you guys celebrate and everything. So he got Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez and award them the championships. Okay, you guys had the controversy. Then you go, you're the inaugural champions, and Dakota Kai and Raquel, they were like, hey, well, we beat every single one of you that were making fun of it, ha ha ha. And then this is when Paul is like, so because you see like the intensity, you see the love there. They're pretty happy, but at the same time ready to go because Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart, they come out and he's like, well, we have titles and we need contenders. So we won a championship match for tonight. So that really made it into like 3 titles being defended at the same night on NXT. And I didn't like this just because I wasn't expecting for a title switch. But the main thing is like really right away, especially when like Kai and Raquel Gonzalez won the Dusty Cup, like you said.
Yeah, and you thought, okay, maybe they're going to unveil it. And then, they would just be like, oh, you Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, because you guys got screwed, you're going to maybe not award them the championship, but be like, you're going to be in the match. Like, you don't even have to compete to be in this match. You're already in the match to be crowned the first champion. Now we got to figure out another team, and then they could have stepped up, be like, we have unfinished business, blah, blah, blah. And then maybe Regal, to just make it easy on himself, will be like, okay, sure, fine, okay, there's the match. And then it's like, okay, now this will be crowning the first winner. Instead of, which we'll just give the spoiler away because the show's already over. It's like, instead of crowning Raquel and Dakota Kai for an hour and then taking the titles right off them.
Oh yeah, because
it makes them look weak. It makes them look lame, and then especially it's like maybe, and that's why Io Shirai. We're just gonna jump all around the place because this show sucks. It's like maybe that's why Io Shirai was like, I'm going to challenge you because she knows Raquel's a loser.
Yeah, well,
she's like, oh, yeah, you never win anything when it matters. So, yeah, I'll challenge you.
Exactly. So, let's go with it, like you said, like the championship match. That's what opened up the show after like that segment. It was like Tony Storm and Io Shirai. And like you said, I mean, out of the matches that we've seen from this too, like this was one of like just average. Nothing really ever picked up. And, and also Tony came out with new gear, which kind of like disappointed me a lot. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who feels that way. So please comment if you felt disappointed and didn't get your money's worth on that. But what do you think of it, Paul? I mean, I just feel that it was average, never picked up for me.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It never got to that fifth gear. It never felt like, oh yeah, takeover worthy match. No, it really didn't. I've seen Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb put on better matches on AEW, to be honest. So I don't know. This just. It never hit that level. And I feel like that's because both of these women they knew, okay, this is going to be a 10, 12-minute match, no title change, no major implications for anything. Io already has her next feud lined up. Tony's an afterthought. What's the point? Oh, you know what I mean? What's the point to go all out to go, to be legit? There wasn't any.
Why do I have to go the extra step for it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, that's, again, this show, it doesn't do anything to capture your interest. It's like the whole feud, no disrespect to Mercedes Martinez, because I think she's badass, but the whole feud should have just been one-on-one.
Oh, yeah.
It should have just been the two of them, and you should have built it, made it feel legit. Instead, you added, 2 women into the feud, and then it just didn't make any sense. And then, we got that triple threat, which I thought the triple threat was better than this. So you would have thought that this would have been better one-on-one, but I mean, Io still looked good. She retained, the crossface.
Crossface.
The crossface. I don't know about that. Maybe she heard everybody talking shit about the moonsault, so she's like, "I'll show you guys." And she hit, like you said, a decent one to the outside on Toni Storm, and she kicked out of Storm Zero, which we saw a lot of people whose finishers, are a lot of opponents kick out of their opponents' finishers tonight. So that kind of buried the finish a little bit. Maybe don't even hit the Storm Zero if that's going to be the case. But, Io Shirai still looks good, retains. And like they said, she's the face of the best, women's division in all of wrestling. So
I mean, like she's awesome, like you said. And I mean, she retains, so like she has to look for another contender. And you kind of said where she's gonna go. So like again, Toni, thank you very much. So there you go. That's the face of Toni. Done.
Yeah, and she threw a temper tantrum, kind of a little bit, was pissed off after the match. I mean, hopefully they still do right by her, do something good with her, but she's not going to go into contention with Mercedes for the tag titles because they already split that team up, like how long ago. So
we'll see.
Like I said, move her to main roster or NXT UK, but I feel like on the main roster, she won't do anything either.
Nah, it will be like another Peyton Royce. So no, thank you. So maybe, like to find something to do with Toni Storm. She still has a lot of ceiling to get. Like this guy, LA Knight, he's like, yeah. He was just talking about the night that he's going to debut. It's not going to be whenever he wants it. Whenever they want it to. It's like the night that he wants to debut. But like, remember, he helped out Cameron Grimes. So like in John Paul's fashion, how he loves it. No, he actually hates it. It's we got to see our Roman Bronson Reed like attacking him. So we got to see a backstage brawl like usual. So but like we find out that next week we're going to see LA Knight debut finally. So of course LA Knight's gonna go over because he's the main guy.
Yeah, can I make a prediction? They're either going to completely drop the ball because they want to keep proving me right, and Bronson Reed is going to either cost LA Knight his first victory, and then if he does that, he has to beat Bronson Reed in the feud, or Bronson Reed's just going to attack LA Knight after he beats up whichever jobber in like 2 minutes.
Oh yeah,
but it's not going to be LA Knight gets his first win. The next segment, no, Bronson Reed's going to come out again. So.
Yeah, so we're gonna have that match next week. So we'll see what happens on that. Next on the card is like Pete Dunne against Jake Atlas. This was like very quick. There was like 3-4 minutes. You see, of course, the bruiserweight going like always working on that. Like those fingers. Like he loves to snap that, and I kind of like that. But he didn't even have to use the bitter end. He just went for like a submission hold, and Jake Atlas, cruiserweight, done. No, they don't really have faith in me. I cut a good promo, 6 months ago? Nobody remembers about that.
Yeah, and I mean, he had a spark of a comeback. He got out of one submission. He did the cartwheel, the big soccer kick. And then, like you said, he goes to do his cartwheel, DDT, whatever, on the ropes. And then, boom, he kicks the ropes. Like you said, beats the shit out of him, finger, submission, and done. And then,
and done.
And done.
And no pun intended, but then he said, Pete Dunne goes, I'm the best technical wrestler right now, kind of going the Bret Hart's way. And he's like, I want to, just anybody that goes against me to prove me. So we'll see what, maybe somebody will step up and go against Pete Dunne, and that will be the next feud, because, of course, he didn't win the NXT Championship, so he has to move on to something else.
Yeah, but who's he calling out? What baby faces on this roster are left?
Yeah.
Kushida,
maybe.
That's it. I mean, who is there?
Right. You're right, though, because Kushida, technical. Kushida is also really technical, so maybe right there. But again, for nothing. Not nothing. So
maybe if Kushida was North American champ or something, okay, legit, have a little bit of a good title feud here, but no.
Why would they do that? No, there's no reason to do that. So, we got Imperium, and Imperium is actually asking Timothy Thatcher, another guy that is kind of technical but heel, so nothing's going to happen. And they're like, hey, we want you to join, be legit with us, like the way we were before. So, I guess in kind of like kayfabe, in the world of kayfabe, they were actually together at some point. So you see Alexander Wolf, you see Agner, all of those, they're just asking them. And it's like, I know you have a buddy on Ciampa. It's like, bring him along. So we want everybody to be legit. We want the Robrick family to grow. So, I mean, again.
And Imperium, they beat the Riddle and Thatcher for the titles, right?
Yes, yeah.
Well, maybe they're referencing that when Thatcher was like, screw you, like how he kind of just left Riddle and then they could win. Because, I mean, unless they were teamed up in some other promotion that nobody watched, but like WWE never references another promotion. So that's the only thing I could think they'd be referencing. But it's like, yes, Thatcher, you're a loser. Join us, a bunch of losers. And the only legit one of us is not even here, who's Walter. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, this to me, I was like, I don't get this. I really don't get this at all.
We've said this. Without Walter, this feels weak.
But I guess they need
Barcelona without Leo and Messi. Yeah. When they won soccer, this is like PSG without Neymar and Kylian Mbappe, or Mbappe, how you guys call it. There you go. Nothing. No, it doesn't.
It's
feel
just I think it's we want to do something with Imperium. We want to do something with Ciampa and Thatcher. Here it is. You want to do something with Imperium? You put them back on NXT UK where they can be legit. You want to do something with Thatcher and Ciampa? You have one be babyface, you have one be heel, and you have one in the mid card, one in the main event, and they do their thing.
Yeah, and they do something different. So, yep. You're talking about losers. There you go. A guy that Jean Paul absolutely loves. And there's Leon Robbs. Just got a big promo. He said next week he's going to go against Isaiah Swerve Scott. He said, oh, you think that everything is being handed to me? No, I had to scroll. I have to crawl. I have to just, do everything to get where I am. So we'll see. Hopefully Isaiah Swerve Scott wins, and then we get over with this.
Yeah, he needs to win. And what does this mean? Oh, I went from opening match to main event. No, you went from we've never seen you on TV to North American champion. That's why people have problems with you.
Let's call it right? And then they go with Adam Cole. He also got a promo saying that, he wants the NXT championship. It's not about the Undisputed Era. It's been about me, and it's about me being the longest NXT champion of all time. And he just reiterated, and he's like, screw the Undisputed Era. They were all the dead weight for me. So, it kind of legit fashion, but we knew that he wasn't going to get the title. So, therefore, I'm like, legit stuff, but, you just going to be in a different feud once this show is over.
You knew this was setting up, and you hoped it wouldn't have been right away, but you knew it was setting up a feud with him and the returning Kyle O'Reilly.
Yes, exactly. So, nothing of interest right there. I mean, later on, yeah, but for what it was, we still believe that, Cole maybe had a shot. And, but he's the longest NXT champion, so he wasn't going to get the title right away. At least, they're not like that. So, women's championship match, this was, like you said, this was not too great. Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart, they're a good team. They have a lot of chemistry together. But, I just didn't feel that, the outcome of the match made sense. And, they didn't do right for Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Because, again, you award the championship. Your idea was so much better. Your idea made much more sense. Oh, yeah, you two can have the match and whoever wins is the champion. Rather than, I give you the championship, no, give it back. So I didn't like that at all.
And also with the outcome of this match. Well, let's talk about the match first. I kind of liked how they had a new theme. Like you heard, it's like the welcome to the ball pit, all this stuff, new theme for Shotzi, or at least it was like the tag team theme for the two of them.
It
was pretty good.
Team, yes.
Yeah, and then Ember Moon, I thought looked really good in this match. I love, when she hits the code breaker. I think they call it Ember's Law or something like that. They give it a new name and stuff. So, Ember Moon looked really good in this. But it's just, we say it all the time that we've seen these tag matches with Dakota Kai and Raquel. It's like, when did this become Enzo and Big Cass? When did Dakota Kai is I'm not going to get literally any offense in. And when I do, it's barely effective, or it's with Raquel. So does it even count? And Shotzi, I think is, I still feel she's in the same spot. She's on a slow rise, kind of to the main event thing, winning here the tag titles with Ember Moon, being partnered with somebody who was an NXT Women's Champion is only going to do good for her. But and the only reason I don't like this, and I'm kind of shitting on them winning this whole thing, is just because of what you do to Raquel and Dakota Kai in the process of this. Like we said, you can in championship matches, the loser should still not get over, but the loser they should still look kind of strong. They should still kind of have a plan in mind for them. But instead, from this, she caught Ember was going for the Eclipse. She caught her almost in a hurricane. She was going to hit a power bomb, but then Ember kind of bent down, and then it was you thought it was going to be a Hurricane Rana, and she was just holding her forever. And Dakota came in, and then Dakota got pushed into Raquel, and Ember got flipped over the ropes. And then she's dumb heel syndrome, which I thought that only happened to baby faces. She gets distracted. Shotzi awkwardly rolls her up, 1, 2, 3. It felt like forever for that 3 count to take place. It's oh, she's going to kick out. No, she doesn't. And they look like fools. But hopefully, now these two baby faces, maybe they have more heel teams, for the women than baby face teams. That. I don't know. But maybe. But, then we already saw it. Because let's just go into it. And, I don't know if it was the following segment when it was. Yeah, it was the celebration, and all the women are back there clapping. I get it. It's Women's History Month. They really want to celebrate the women, and that's fine. But think about it in the world of kayfabe. Shouldn't they all look like that? Shouldn't all the women look like, okay, bitch, it's going to be my turn next. I'm going to get this title shot. Why would you be that would be like Ric Flair wins the NWA championship and all the other wrestlers are Rick, that's so legit. Good job, Rick.
Yeah,
no.
it's everybody should be okay, I'm coming next then. You know,
so then you see
have that hunger all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And that did kind of like deviate to like a segment with the way, and then Gargano's right there, of course, with like the same stuff that like you make like Austin Theory look like a freaking 5-year-old with the body of like like a bodybuilder. He's like, I suck, hey, man. Yeah. Like, I don't like that at all.
It reminds me for like Lion-O. For all the Thundercat fans, when Lion-O, he had the body of a man, but like the mind of a child.
Yeah, and then
it's just like okay.
In his jogger, right? Or one
Snarf. That's Johnny. Johnny Gargano's Snarf. He's like, Snarf. I don't know if I can beat Leon Ruff.
Yeah, like
that's Gargano.
So like he's just talking about like how much like he sucks, like how bad things he talk about, like Dexter Lumis talk about him, and then of course he goes Lion-O is like thunder way, the way. So he says like next week they're gonna have a match with Dexter Lumis. So this is just bad, like you said.
And Lumis is gonna win because Indy Hartwell is gonna be out there and she's gonna want to be friends with Benefits, and I mean hopefully she wears something nice for Dexter Lumis, and I wouldn't mind seeing it either.
Easy on the eye, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, but this is just.
It's just bad. It doesn't make it doesn't get you excited, especially when like the North American Championship is the second title in importance. So like, can you make it about the title rather than just like?
If you want to do this stuff with the way, because I'm sure there's some people who find it hilarious, and the writers obviously think it's good. You're not going to write this stuff and present it if you don't think it's good, but don't have the title on him then. Yeah. Have the title on Kushida, and he can be somebody Bronson Reed or somebody like that.
Title, yes, I like that. So let's go to like the next burial, because like today's been like a funeral right here, because we go from burial to burial. Is that Kaden Carter going against Xia Li, and we thought it was going to be easy. It was going to be a matter of like 5-6 seconds or something, but no, they actually had a contested match. Kaden came out with a lot of strength, a lot of aggressiveness. She was like really good, kind of the upper hand a little bit. Then Xia started dominating, and then. In the world of kayfabe, then you saw Casey Catanzaro just showing up, and she, just like, it wasn't completely injured because remember we said like ACL and all of that, but she was just, kind of slowly walking. So that kind of like turned me away. Also, it's like really, if she would really be quote unquote that, she would never be even walking that fast.
Oh yeah, no, she probably wouldn't even be there.
With a crutch. And done, and she beats Xia, and the match gets disqualified, and then Casey almost gets like a baby face like comeback because she was actually beating her up really bad. Then Boa shows up, and then all of a sudden we can see Boa just breaks the crutch, and and then he just rolls up, and then we see Casey and Kaden right there. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, this was bad, and I mean we like Kaden Carter a lot, but I mean this was just bad on all fronts, and. You can't blame the women involved. You can only blame the bookers and the writers. But if you wanted to make this badass, okay, you could have Casey do what she did. Let her get in the ring. Let Boa break the crutch like he did. Then let him pick her up and powerbomb her. Or do like a single leg Boston Crab on the bad leg. How much heat would that group get if a man twice her size put a Boston Crab on the supposedly torn ACL?
Yes.
I say that would get heat on that group. One, it's a man beating up a woman. Two, she's already injured. And then on the outside, you have Xia Li beating the shit out of Kaden Carter. And then I forget who's sitting in the chair, what her name is, but she could just, be like, like smiling or clapping or just like looking on in approval. And then the team still gets over. But you saw a little bit of comeback, a little bit of fight from the baby faces. Instead, like you said, 4-5 weeks of this build, all this filming that they had to do for what? For a team that 95% of wrestling fans all over the world don't give a shit about.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like it needs to you need to just be more logical. Like if you start building something, don't just drop it midway, and then just like you support the team of the baby faces. That doesn't really mean anything. But
the only way this can be saved is if next week Xia Li just hospitalizes both of them.
And it needs to just be that way because then you can see, okay, maybe Eon X or maybe if I align myself with somebody better, maybe the tag title, something like that. But we'll see. Somebody that we've been waiting for the longest time. We've been teasing this for like months. Jordan Devlin showed up on NXT TV finally, not NXT UK. And he says that like he's coming after Santos Escobar. He heard a 2-night event for TakeOver. So he said, well, it's time to figure out who the real champion is going to be. And then you can see he's at the airport. And then he showed up like the airplane, like kind of like getting there. So he said next week is going to be on NXT. So that's interesting. Finally, they're going to do it. They've been waiting for months. Finally, it seems like the restrictions are being lifted. The line about COVID is about to is slowly like fading away finally. So we're gonna get this match, and this is gonna be really cool. I feel. How do you feel about
Oh
it?
yeah. I'm excited about this, and I everything Devlin said it was good, and I feel he was kind of presented a little bit like a babyface here. Still had his attitude, still was, but not like his kind of heelish prick like attitude that he has on NXT UK. And then, but maybe they had to make him a babyface because Santos is clearly a heel. Because then you saw him, talking to Regal. He's like, Regal, this is bullshit, blah blah blah, everything. And I mean,
And
this is
Santos,
good.
wearing like a Christmas outfit. I don't know
I
why.
mean, I love the suit. To me, Santos always looks badass. But I mean,
Yeah,
this
that
is
one I will tell you. I hate the suit. Like the
yeah,
color.
okay.
Absolutely. If fashion police right there. But anyway, let's focus on
But I
that.
mean, yeah, I don't know. I was looking forward to this match, but as time was going on, I was kind of thinking, you know what? I like NXT UK having its own, cruiserweight title, and then NXT, US or the main NXT show, whatever. I like them having a cruiserweight title because now you got Tyler Bate Trent Seven losing all this weight. He's like, so what if Santos wins?
Oh yeah, like exactly.
Like then what? Does he have to come over here? Like, what the hell's the point? If that's the case, just let him eat junk food. Poor Trent Seven.
Yeah, like we'll see what happens, but at least at least they tease you, so we'll see if maybe Jordan Devlin wins it and then he takes it to the UK or like you said Santos. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting at least to find out where this title is going to end or what are they going to do. Like you said, split them up. Maybe like they say, hey, two championships. Maybe we'll unify them later on in the year. Next year, worlds collide, something like that. We'll see what happens, but then Santos goes, be legit, take care of the Legado, and then they win the Legado del Fantasma, the tag team goes against the Grilled Young Veterans. So this turned out to be another joke because then we got to see that Punk wannabes, and that's MSK because we're in the astronaut suits and all of that. They were they thought they were Brisango, but then it turned out to be them. That caused distraction to the Grilled Young Veterans, and then Legado del Fantasma, they rolled them up. So they get the win, but in the end, everything just turned out to be babyface land just because we get to see Fandango and also Tyler Breeze celebrating with MSK because they took all the heels out. So there's, tag team division.
Can I be honest with you with something? When they came out, they're like, oh, it's just Breezango, and they took off the helmets. The first person I looked at was Nash Carter, and I'm like, is this Everrise? I completely forgot about MSK until I saw Wesley, and I was like, oh yeah, shit, it's MSK. I guess they're back. See, that's how much of an impact these people make on this show. They're gone for 3 weeks, and you forget that they're even there.
That's what I mean. That's exactly how that
and
feels.
Then how's their return? We're the Dusty Cup Classic winners. We want a title shot. We want this. Why are you going after these guys when you should be going after, the tag team champions?
Yeah, they have the match, so I am hoping that
what's the point?
Lee is ready to go. Maybe the arm. Maybe he has a few more weeks, and then they will have the match. I mean, I wouldn't just rather have the match with the Grilled Young Veterans. But I mean, it doesn't matter if it is heel against heel because Danny Burch and Oney Larkin, they're champions. Yeah, but do people know that they're the champions?
No,
I don't think so. No, nobody really cares. I mean, what they do seem is going to be good is Zoe Starks. See, they had a really nice promo with her, showcasing her ability. They even had Io saying, she's rough, she's tough. So they even had Io. So to go to that extent, to that length, that go for that.
Yeah, and
have a lot of futures, putting her.
Exactly. And like I texted you, she's not like a gymnast. She's not like, oh, okay, I'm an American Ninja Warrior, all this stuff and all this, bullshit. No, she learned wrestling. She's like, I love, the catch is catch K and the technical style wrestling. She did the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and all the fighting techniques as well. So, and you even see in the picture there when she was flexing her muscles in the promo, that they filmed at the Performance Center. She's not just this skinny, 98-pound woman. She's got muscle. She looks strong. She looks badass. And this is kind of the same thing as kind of like a Mercedes Martinez, where it's like, okay, this woman is believable. She's badass. Yeah, she's maybe not as tall, but, you can, in a wrestling ring, you go, okay, it's believable.
Yeah, no, and there's a lot of good things coming for her.
And then she's not a Joshi Queen Princess, Riho,
Yeah, no, oh no, she probably hits really hard, probably she hits and she will knock my teeth out. So let's go to the crying babies. No, but you lose your championship, you're gonna feel like crap. So Mackenzie's like, oh no, you guys lose. So that's that's the face of so it doesn't matter if it was 1 hour, 5 days, 5 weeks. We were the inaugural tag team champion. That's what matters. So this splits up this team right away, quick, because finally we said this should. I don't know if this was needed just to get us to here, but there you go. Io comes looking for Raquel Gonzalez and is like, hey, I want you next. So, Io realizes that that's the next woman that she needs to beat. And I feel that this is actually the woman that's going to take the championship out of Io. At least for me. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, and see, if you wanted to have her looking strong, this is Raquel going into this feud. It should have been a similar match. A similar ending, to the tag team championship match we saw. Afterwards, Raquel could have been furious, going, Dakota, you cost us the Raw Tag Team Championships, or the WWE main roster women's tag team championships. You cost us these, and maybe Raquel throws her through the barricade, throws Dakota Kai, power bombs her through the table, beats the shit out of her. Boom, okay. Now Dakota Kai's probably going to turn babyface again, and Raquel broke off, became heel, on her own. Then Io Shirai, boom. This would make more sense, because now it's like Dakota Kai. So, I'm just the bullshit accessory. I'm the sidekick. I'm the Robin to your Batman. It's just like she serves no purpose. Like we said, she was the main woman, and then Raquel was like her muscle, and now it's like the muscle became, the main
woman, and
then now you're the, well, if you're not the muscle, you're clearly not the brains, because you're the one who's always getting pinned. So, what good are you?
What kind of woman are you?
Yeah, they should have just did the split, and then Raquel could beat her up, and then that would show that Raquel's like, I don't need you holding me down anymore, blah, 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 and, go after the singles title.
So that was like just, well, we'll see, we see the takeover match right there. It's going to be Io against Raquel right there. And probably it's takeover 2-night event, so what's going to do? A title switch? So Raquel is going to get
and then Io main roster.
Yeah, in your main roster. So there you go. We're gonna get this one next week, like we said. Dexter Lumis, Austin Theory. Do we care? No, not really. Like no, uninteresting. And then Ciampa, all of a sudden he went from 35 to 70. I don't know how you can do that. Unless you're the president.
He was probably watching NXT.
Yeah,
like oh my god, like is this the show we put on?
It's grandpa talking to to the son, the grandkid. He's like, bro, we're gonna have a match against Imperium, so let's do it. Pretty much it's like, and you see Thatcher kind of doubting. So maybe you see a potential, again, dissension between the two, but it's going to turn into another feud between these two. I hope not, but hopefully actually they're able to beat Imperium and then they send them back to NXT UK. So that's what we're hoping for. So Paul, let's go right away to the main event, NXT Championship match. Adam Cole challenging Finn Balor. And like you said, this was a good match, but we've seen this before so many times already. So does it makes it interest? No, it's just the same recyclables. It's like playing 2K19 or 2K20, and there's the same moves, same spots. Something that we've seen before. I mean, the superplex was really cool, and then Adam Cole hit all his arsenal, his main moves. He also went for the crossface though. Why is everybody loving the crossface?
That at least made sense in this match because of Balor's jaw and everything. When Kyle O'Reilly broke the jaw, and then Pete Dunne was kind of going after the jaw. So you knew that there was damage to the jaw. I didn't get it in the match with Tony. I didn't know her jaw was hurt or anything. But, yeah, with this, it's just...
Blame Juice for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, okay, let's not get into that. But, this is, having two commercial breaks. I know they're picture-in-picture, but I don't care who you are. Nobody watches the little screen in picture-in-picture. That's when you go on your phone. That's when you take a shit. Nobody watches the picture-in-picture. And to have that twice in this match really takes you out of it. And like you said, what more could they have done that we haven't seen from these guys already? Is it a legit match? Are these guys talented? Absolutely. But we saw the Iron Man match they were both in. Then we saw the singles match they had. And, you just, even before that, always teasing, oh, is Balor going to go after Cole? Oh, is he? Oh, okay, no, here's Keith Lee. They've been teasing this, doing these matchups for how long? This, and also nobody knew, everybody knew that Cole wasn't going to win.
Yes.
Nobody was like, oh, Adam Cole's going to win. No.
There was no reason for that. There was no way in hell that
And I don't like how he hits the last shot and Balor kicks out. I was like, okay, that's whatever. Because people kicked out of the last shot before and it's Finn Balor. But then he immediately hits the Panama Sunrise and he kicks out of that too. His two finisher after finisher done.
Why did I just say the whole arsenal? And that's the face done. So, but you knew that from this it was gonna come out to the next story. So this is like they always do. Set it up for what? For this. And like you said, they should have done it in a different way. Maybe he was about to win the championship and then he sees the Kyle O'Reilly. That would have made it much more interesting or much more, I was about to. That split second is like it was supposed to be my time, but you stopped me from it. So then you go, then I'm gonna go after you. But he sees O'Reilly, so like seeing him, like call him, like he completely like goes to like forgets about the match and all of that. Finn Balor is able to hit like the coup de grace, not even 1916, just coup de grace and done. Not even nothing like you said. Like, Finn Balor only hits one finisher and done, but like Adam Cole has to hit two and nothing else done. So you see how much resiliency like Finn Balor has. And then all of a sudden, Kyle O'Reilly wins and tries to like go after Adam Cole. He took away the Undisputed Era, like the elbow. I mean, like the
armband. And what's Adam Cole? What it looks like Cole's like going after something there.
Well, I mean, like everybody.
What's going on?
It's kind of like when you go to the psychiatrist, like, what do you see from this, Jean Paul? Like,
I see something that might get the video taken down on YouTube. No, never. But
let's not elaborate on that.
Yeah, it's with this. It's the whole beatdown. It would have been fine if this would have been the last thing we saw. Like that Balor was already on stage, on the ramp, holding up his title. Like, I won.
He already left. No more Balor.
And if this would have been the last thing we saw, then okay, good. But, you give us this big, exciting thing. Oh, the return of Kyle O'Reilly. And how about Wade Barrett on commentary? Oh, Kyle O'Reilly coming out, turned the tide for the match. Turned the tide for the match? There wasn't a match after this. Balor hit his finish and it was done. It wasn't like Balor had some huge offense and the match kept going for another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's then, and so, okay. So now we know this was a feud, but we already knew this was going to be a feud to begin with. So you give us that. Okay. I guess that's cool. That's fine. I would have maybe saved it a little bit, kind of dragged it out a little longer. And then we see Finn Balor in the ring. He's just standing there and he's like.
And then you knew.
Yeah. And then just like, yeah, what took you so long? Boom. Karrion Kross. It's like, okay. It's like, let's say you ate a bunch of dinner and you're really stuffed. Kyle O'Reilly's a piece of, chocolate cake. Karrion Kross is vanilla cake. It's like you can't have two pieces of cake. Like, what are you going to do? Yeah. Like, give me one or the other. You don't give me both, I'm going to be full. I'm not going to want cake anymore.
Yep. No.
It's like you give me too much, and it should have just been Cole saw Kyle O'Reilly. He got distracted. Boom. That would have been the perfect time for a roll-up. I hate roll-up finishes, but then at least Adam Cole would have looked strong. He wouldn't have got pinned. Coup de grace and done. And then, Cole could have just rolled out of the ring like, what the hell? Maybe jumped the barricade, looked for Kyle O'Reilly. I can't find him. Was I seeing a ghost? What the hell's going on? Balor's in the ring. Karrion Kross is there. Boom. End the show.
Yeah. Exactly. You either had to go with one or the other to make, more impactful. You got to pick your theme. It's like even if you have a paper or something, you can't go with two things at the same time.
No.
So you got to pick one and elaborate from that. And you didn't do that here. So that's why we said Karrion showing up completely overshadowed Kyle. That for me. It's like, for example, again, a lot of people, Christian, Ethan Page. Christian, of course, Ethan Page done. Nobody knows Ethan Page is on AEW. Why? Yeah. Because Christian is right here. So you got to pick your battles and you got to decide what you're going to do. So like you said, too much in 2 hours. Too much, LA Knight. Karrion Kross, like Kyle O'Reilly, like too much. And then on top of that, the stuff that actually you should make more sense in a logical way, Xia Li and stuff, doesn't even make any sense. So, a lot of very informative NXT, episode for you, family. I hope you guys enjoy what we did. And, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notification, and please, 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 hit that, like so the video gets pushed to the
we didn't even see our boy this week. He's at least one thing that makes the show somewhat enjoyable.
I know. No, see, for example, instead of the Karrion thing, give me Grimes. He won. Cave in, done. But anyway, family, where is they can find us, Paul?
Yeah, and then make sure you follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 and the fastest growing podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
Family, don't forget tomorrow, Jean Paul, AEW, talking about all the fallout from Revolution, NXT UK also, to talk about maybe a response for Santos Escobar. So if they do it in NXT, maybe NXT UK, Santos will say something. Good stuff for you, family. So please, again, subscribe. Help us out. A big thank you to the Wrestling with Joners. You can find us there also. Our friends from the UK, we love you. Thank you for the support. You and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...